All opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed through this podcast are solely the author's own perspective and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of VTS, the UnLearn Collective, or any other entity that VTS is associated with. Any content provided by authors on this podcast, including our guests, are their own opinion and are in no way intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. VTS's podcast is not to be viewed as a news source. While we consistently discuss current events and cite sources that are both conventional and unconventional media, once again the views and perspectives addressed are the opinions of the author. While we continuously strive for accuracy and a depth of knowledge, we can and will be incorrect at times, as any transparent individual or organization will have to admit to.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Well, they use some cuss words that come along with that. Somebody said that. I'll bring you
I'm a fan of this though. This is going to be nice. How y'all feel about it?
I like it. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the VTS podcast.
What's this podcast, you say?
I got this. This podcast is the Safety and Protection Podcast presented by Biotechnical Solutions in the Noir Collective.
I appreciate the clarification. All right. My name is M. This is the Queen. This is D. We have a very engaging episode in store for you today, and we're looking forward to seeing you join us inside this podcast community.
If you would like more information on safety protection or overall education, check us out at VTSprotect.com or on all social media at VTS Protect.
Awesome. You can also check us out at TH3 Noir Collective on your social media platforms. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
So, today we have a surprise. This is a 2-month, 3-month process. We've had a failed attempt in the O. Well, it wasn't failed because I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
But down in the Oasis, the retreat zone, you know what I'm saying? But today we are honored with the presence of one of my confidants and one of my, team members, tribe members, and a person that I look to for guidance and advisement and all of that good stuff, man. A good friend, family member, and all that good stuff. I'm buttering them up.
You sound like a guru. I feel like he should be, you know what I'm saying? Sensei.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, when your peace of mind exudes in your skull cap, it exudes like the happiness he's showing. You know what I'm saying, dude? So, without further ado, I give you Antonio Martin of the Martin Law Group.
Thank you. Honor and blessing. I'm certainly happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of this podcast. Like I told you before, I'm super excited for what it is that you guys are building for yourselves, information that you guys are putting out there for other people, and how it continues to carry a legacy for the youth, both my children, your children, you know, and just moving forward, man. It's an exciting time for you guys, and I'm glad to play a little part, whether it's a little line in bibliography or if I get a whole chapter, whatever it is, man, I'm just happy to participate.
A chapter, bro, you can have a whole series. Yeah. And this episode, we are having the brother Tony choose what we will be talking about today.
All right. So, in honor of the Oasis retreat down in the O, I wanted to kind of recap what we were talking about then. Do you guys recall what that was?
Refresh.
I recall the story that you gave, that I said that this is the reason we needed to get you up here.
Okay.
We needed to get you to the A so you all can hear this rendition.
Okay.
I even said it was gonna sound better the second time.
We gonna see. We gonna see. but so the topic, if I understood correctly, was just like when we do most of our talking, we talk about our relationship with things, our relationship with each other, our relationship to money, our relationship to our children. So I was referring to what are our relationship to weapons, right, and to guns specifically was what I was referring to. In my own life, my relationship has been a very strong association with weapons and aggression, right? So I had the pleasure, and this is a two-part story, so please follow me here. I had the pleasure of going to some gun training with your father, right? We went to the range, and we got to shoot different types of weapons, and I got one of the what do you call it? The target, right? The target, right? Yeah. With the body and all that stuff. And I held my gun for the first time and I let off a few, right? And immediately I knew I probably shouldn't have no gun in my hand whatsoever, right? I thought of a few people I knew in college. I thought about that girl that had said no that one time. It got real fast. And I didn't know how easily I could get petty until I felt the power of the gun in my hand, right? And so I have kind of opted to stay away from guns in that way. And I was just curious about how you guys define your relationship, with weapons specifically, but also, in general.
Well, first, I want to say that it's interesting that one, in another episode, we talked about, and something that's an ongoing topic that the people have kind of brought to our attention as well, is just the psychology that goes along with firearm ownership and how it immediately gives a false sense of confidence. And this is directly reflected in your story, right? But this is the thing that makes you different than, I guess, what I am used to seeing.
Okay.
All right. Instead of the vernacular being, oh, well, I know I should not have no damn gun. It's I need two. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's crazy that confidence can breed a villain over breeding a superhero. And it's crazy that it's easier to become a villain than it is to become a superhero, right? So you know what I mean? And it's so much easier how you can fester more negativity just off of one little mustard seed of negativity. Because it's so easy to see that, everybody around you want the same negativity you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm trying to see what that negativity is about. Which leads to why innocent bystanders, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to see the negativity. But I also feel like society is ingraining that into us to be attracted to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I will say for myself that aversion to guns, also comes from my childhood in some ways, because I knew some of my friends back in the 7th grade. They were neighbors. We lived in like an apartment complex, and there was like a neighboring apartment complex that we would play football against. They were like our rivals, right? and two of those guys shot themselves in the stomach, right? With their parents' loaded gun. They ended up moving schools, and I can only imagine the shame that the parents must have felt, for their level of responsibility. I don't know, how the child processed or, experienced that trauma 6 months from then, a year from then, 10 years from then. I have no clue about any of those things. But as a child, seeing my friend leave as a result of, a gun being in the house and all of the tension, in the neighborhood that was surrounding that caused, kind of like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
For me.
Ooh, that's deep. But what y'all think about this, man? I see your eyebrows raised like mine.
I mean, it's. I think my backstory is a little similar fashion, not as traumatic. But definitely the negative connotation. But it came from like experiences like what he had and other people having negative experiences. I never was exposed to the positive side or what could be positive side of having a firearm and how to do it in a safe sort of environment. It was always framed around pain, anguish, death, you know, just
The taboo.
destruction. Yeah. So there was never the exploration of the other side of the pendulum. So it definitely left it very one-sided until you. Other than that, it was just negative.
Let me ask you a question if you'll let me.
Yeah.
So you had similar beliefs that I did.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first thing that began to create that shift? Right? From like, this is all bad to, you know what? Maybe it's not all bad.
A lot of it came from him and just his familiarity with it, his comfortability with it, and his at the time unwillingness, at least what seemed to be unwillingness to budge on the conversation of you need to be educated. And I understood it. Like it wasn't like he was just saying it just to say it. Like I understood why I needed to be educated on it if I was going to be around it, because I wanted to be. Like because of the fear and all of the like I ain't about to be on it. I ain't about to catch me out here in this street. And I don't even know how to use it, and it's here. No. So because I at least agreed with that and bought into that, I was open to the idea, and like the way it was presented, it was all about the education of it. It wasn't about the harm or the death or any of that. And then I would, I'm not being a bitch. It got me in the rain. I'm scared. I am scared. So what? I don't want to do it. You're here, okay? Let's go.
Hey, you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. That's a fact there.
I will say having you in my life has like expanded both yourself and your father. They've expanded some of those definitions, right? Yeah. Because one, I knew that protection was important to you. But I also remember like kind of how serious and playful you could be about your relationship with guns, right? So I remember it was my wedding day, right?
Wait a minute. I don't know what he is about to say. I just want to go on the record to say this. All right.
They told me to be myself. I got to be myself. So we had my wedding. All right. And at my wedding, we have a beautiful procession. And then we're getting ready to have the dinner portion, right? But my wedding had, some testimonials. And when I say some, I mean like 25, 30 testimonials, right? But what started the crescendo of testimonials, right, was him getting up on the mic, talking about how much he loved me, how much he loved being a part of the family, but making sure everybody knows, like, we are a family of shooters. Right?
That was the
this is what happened. It was on the mic. This is the mic. The mic was, hey, is this thing on? Hey, listen. Just in case somebody want to act up, we are a family of shooters. Right? And then I could have made this up. I just could have been my imagination, but I felt like he looked at my wife's brother right in the eyes.
Directly.
Right in the eye, like in the whites. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Both whites. The outside and the center. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You found that one person? You locked in on him? We are. We are.
We don't get in the car without a seatbelt. Right? I'm saying? Just in case.
I can imagine it.
Man.
I didn't be in there. I can imagine that happening. You have to look directly at him. You couldn't look at nobody.
Listen,
You couldn't cover the room.
That was just the one that caught eyes. Whoever locked eyes first, somebody get the
I can neither confirm or deny. This is what I recall.
well, first of all, it's no shock
Mm-hmm.
that this is a similar story because he's already told a story like this about me and she has too. So
Fair.
people just keep throwing me under the bus. Apparently, that's what we doing around here. So not people. We throwing him under the bus.
Well, to be clear, right? I just want to make my point is when you made the comment, right? It's this it's not just like a declarative statement of aggression, right? It represents more than just the gun itself. It speaks to a family that stays together, that works together, that protects one another. You know, that's what. So that's the comment, right?
Yeah.
But my daughters also know. Should something happen that was like similar but not exactly to The Walking Dead, we can come to M's house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And things can be situated, you know, in a way that's secure.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we just practiced last night. You know?
definitely did. That was dope.
Man, that so. What you think, man? D? How you feel like? What was your, I guess, perspective on the coming up of, or your educational journey in firearms and so forth, and then that change in mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I got to see them at different levels. I think weapons in general can mean different things to different communities, different locations, to, rural compared to urban. So I kind of saw both. You know what I mean? Rural, like when I was in the South, in Mississippi, and my uncle like, we got like shoot the air, so we hit the bear, but like shoot some animals. Animals out here a lot. You got to protect it. So from that perspective, I understood it a lot. And then growing up in more in the city environment, a little bit different connotations, a little bit more like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We got this for protection or for to harm. You know what I mean? So I saw it in a different context. I really didn't see it too much in my house. You know what I mean? You know, if I did, I was maybe more naive to it. You know what I'm saying? I know my brother might have kept one or two, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I never really saw it. You know what I mean? To be fair. Around, around environments where they were, but fortunate enough, I was never on the receiving end, or nor did I witness somebody doing it. I'm just playing. But you know what I mean? So that's kind of like so I kind of got a mixture of it. So I didn't use firearms because I felt like I had a bad temper growing up. You know what I mean? And I never wanted to be the cat that lost his temper and pulled it out from a situation that really could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang that. You took a couple seconds to just calm down. You changed somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? So I took my own, you know what I'm saying, changed my own life. So from that context, I kind of chilled out until kind of like start politicking with y'all and being more comfortable with it. You know what I mean? In terms of my older age. Now I'm way more calm, I'm way more clear about it. You know, I can deal with it now. But it took me a while before it was just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather either use my hands, you know what I'm saying, or avoid situations of totality. You know what I mean? So,
What I hear between all three stories is you all's thirst. No, let me say that. You all's willingness to be open to learn.
It was a knowledge,
You know what I mean? Like that's the one key commonality between all three of these stories. However different they are, or in whatever origin, whatever level of depth they've gone into, I still see, just that inkling of, all right, I don't mess with it. And you see that presentation. But after you are presented with something different, right? Because you know that education, what we have known it to look like here, is not the way I presented it to you all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's just all about, I guess, the methodology behind the presentation. You know what I mean?
To a degree. I would ask both you, sis, and you, Dean, like, has there been a point in time where your relationship with weapons shifted to a more active participation? And let me make sure I explain that. So when I hear you talk there, what it brings up for me is that, like, the information that I had, the experiences that I had as a child throughout police or whatever the case may be, all of these things that kind of help to build what my idea of whether guns were good or bad or whether I should mess with them or not. All of that was a passive experience. I didn't go out looking for that information.
Yeah.
That was the information that was there. I absorbed it.
Yeah.
Similarly, in my relationship with you and your father, right? That was also passive. It wasn't information I was necessarily looking for. I received some encouragement. I said, okay, why not? We tried some different things, and I learned some things as a result of that. And I also want to point out that, just for purposes of clarity, we didn't just go to the range. Like, we also had like a whole family meeting where we had a discussion about the language of weapons and what parts of the weapon was, and where the safety was, and how you know whether it's on, whether it's on. Like, all of that was all a part of that. But I would say currently my relationship is still very much passive. I don't rock with them, and whether that is a good decision or a bad decision, I'm comfortable in that spell. Like, if there was something else that I wanted, I'd have to actively do something to change that mindset, right? Otherwise, I'd be the person, like, my beliefs would literally get in the way from my ability to be accurate and to do all of the things necessary to really think under pressure. Right? So I'm curious now that, as a person who now, has a different relationship, is it still passive? Or now do you kind of go, I don't say go out of your way, but do you set intentionality to learn more, right, about what it is to protect yourself in this way? And how does that shift your beliefs, and in your relationship with weapons?
I think my shift happened with the idea of preparedness and more of a buy-in in that space. It definitely shifted me to a more active role in the education, but it was all framed around preparedness because I didn't want to be in the situation where something was going on and I panicked. I don't know what to do. I am a person, I feel like, I'm comfortable in and with preparedness. I like to know what's going to happen, what I want to do, how I want to move. I can function with definitely within some points of just differentiation. But I like to be prepared. So in that and not wanting to be caught off guard, that's what I think pushed me more to an active space to make sure I was going out and getting the information so I didn't just get caught slipping. I don't want to be in this thing.
That's a good question, man. That's a real good question. More of an active role. I don't know about. I'm taking more of an active role, but it's as of late. It's as of like having children. You know what I'm saying? Having, you know what I'm saying, your lady or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or when I was recently living by myself, even though I don't carry that energy around,
Right.
You never know when cats might bring that energy to you. So I gotta be ready. You know what I'm saying? Be like have enough Bible or whatever is not going to stop these
Yeah.
cats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, shoot the shit out your ass, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, we got, you know what I'm saying? So it's really been, as of like, really probably this past year, like, you know what I'm saying? Really been like, ask more questions.
Mhm.
You know, being actually invited to be a part of VTS and like, bro, like, you don't know nothing about none of this, dog. Like, come on. Exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's exactly why. You know what I'm saying? Him and his family extending the olive branch and me being like, you know what? I want to do this because I want to learn more and I want to be in a space kind of like so said, I can always, you know what I'm saying? I can at least understand, even if chaos is breaking out, I can still let me keep my sound mind and I can think through and immediately all that. And so it's really been as of late, really. So I'm still like you kind of coming into it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
He didn't even know the effect that he had on cats. You and your pops and your family. Dante too. I include Dante. Like it's all like, yes, you know what I'm saying. Just being around cats. But again, like you know what I'm saying. Y'all grew up in different contexts. In terms of just pops in the military. Pops in you know what I'm saying. So that's a whole nother. You know, I didn't necessarily. My grandfather was in the military. My brother was in, but they wasn't never. They talk to us this way about love. You know what I mean? So being around cats where healthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we all been around cats where it's some other, like, we know what they can use this for. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But being around cats where they like, hey man, like they actually ask you questions about like the nomenclature around guns. Like, what you talking about? Like, dog, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hold the gun like crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you see on TV, he like, you know what I'm saying? Like, joke with you a little bit, like, nah, let's get it correct. Yeah, this is real life, bro. That's not normal. You gonna hurt yourself. So it's really,
So first, I gotta say I have gratitude to these people I sit with because again, I wasn't prepared to hear that. So I mean, I thank you all for your willingness to even share that vulnerability with me in the room. I appreciate that. So
that's a good question.
Yeah. I didn't even expect it to go that route. Man.
This is normal too, by the way. Like, we have these conversations. Sometimes we ask questions and we actually get stumped, and we kind of all kind of be like, "Oh shit, well, wait, I don't know, like, I gotta think." Like, this moment, shit.
Yeah, man. Again, hearing this, and I would agree with you. Hearing what you were saying, like you don't really know if it's technically an active role you've taken yet. You still have like that passive on the edge of. So I do. And shout out to you for being so honest with yourself. Man, so many people. I know everything I need to know.
We live in that though. That real shit. First of all, we grow in hell. Second of all, we live in that real reality where we gotta be honest with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in this circle. You know what I'm saying? I know one of the things we all try to do, we might have an idea, thought about something, so we'll question each other and kind of hear where you are to see, okay, are they being honest with themselves? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we do that a lot without even necessarily knowing we're doing that.
Agreed.
With each other, man. So, first we got to be honest with yourself.
I think one of the things that we have that's really beautiful in how we approach really any topic, I feel like we all have a bit of a growth mindset. So it's not like we don't have confidence in the things that we believe or the things that we know. So I always leave a little space to learn something different. Right.
Weapons deactivated.